Hi, it's Doug Coy for SoWhatDoYouThink.com. Well, my brother's son, his name is Joshua, is really a great guy. And my brother is actually a great guy. I respect them both and love them. We have this disagreement about guns. Now, I thought I would do this video to share my heart on the subject. I am sure that I will not change my brother's mind, or will I change Joshua's mind? And that's not really the purpose of this video. The purpose is to share why I have such a feeling about guns. Okay? First of all, let me say, Joshua, have you ever been in a room where someone has been shot and killed? Well, I have. And it changes you. Young man that I was working with, I was working in a drug and crisis center, was so disgusted with the fact that he had gone back to his addiction that he could not face his parents anymore. He felt he had let them down and there was no way he was going to make things right. And so he decided to go and get his father's gun. He took it out and shot himself, killed himself. The father called me, and I went with the father to the home, and there was the boy in the living room. That scene has been on my mind for a long, long time. That was over 30 years. Then there was a night that I was called out of a meeting. It was a Sunday night. A young lady came to me, and she was obviously very distraught, and she said, "Doug, can you come with me?" When I got outside the meeting hall, she said, "My father has just shot my mother, and my father is dead also. He took the gun and shot himself. Can you go with me to the hospital?" Okay, so I did that. And I walked into a room where I saw a mother whose head had been blown away. And the young lady looked at me and said, "Why? Why?" They'd gotten into an argument. The father just lost it. You know, I knew him. He was a pretty good guy. I mean, he had a successful business, seemed to be a good family man. Something snapped, and a gun was available, and 2 lives were lost. Haven't forgot that. You've probably heard this story, but Joshua, I don't know if you've ever had somebody hold a gun on you. Actually pull out a gun and aim it at you, with the intent that if things don't go right, they'll shoot you. I went out to a house. The man was distraught. I had been counseling his wife, who had left him. He had been somewhat abusive. When I got out there, I knocked on the door. I wasn't prepared for what happened. When he opened the door, he had a gun, and he held it to my head. He said, "Come in." I was with him for a period of time before I was able to talk him into letting me go get him some cigarettes. It was one of the scariest times of my life. And I'm very thankful to be alive today. So I don't know if you've ever had a gun pulled on you, but it changes you. A couple more stories, because this is what molded me. This is what has imprinted into my life, my feeling towards guns. A young man had been coming into our center. He was in his late teens. He was gay. His parents, very devout Christians, could not stand the fact that their son was gay. Finally got to the point, they said, "If you don't repent, you're going to have to leave." Now, we can talk about the right or wrong of that for a long time. It was wrong, in my opinion. But the boy couldn't stand the fact because of his lifestyle, his parents did not accept him. And in a night of extreme depression, he went back home to confront his parents. They were away. And he went in, he found his dad's gun, took it out, and he shot himself. There again, I was called to the scene. And I'll never forget it. And I guess one more story now, I'll stop. Unfortunately, I have too many of these. I was working in media in Kelowna. I stopped by a video store to pick up a video. And all of a sudden, a young man ran out of the video store, jumped into his car. He had a girl that he was pulling into the car with him. And he had a gun in his hand, and he was holding this young lady hostage in the car. The police blocked the driveway. And there I was in the parking lot. And I made a telephone call to the radio station. I thought, wow, I get to cover this story. It's happening right before me. I might win an award for this. And then things progressed. The police were yelling at the young man to put his gun down. He was waving it around. And then the young man shot at a police officer through the back window. And I realized I was in the parking lot. I was in a vulnerable position, even though I was hiding behind my car. I was behind the lines. And then all of a sudden, a policeman snuck up on the side of the car, opened the door, pulled the young lady out, just as a police officer on the other side jumped up and said, "Throw down your gun." The young man turned, faced the police officer, and was going to shoot. The police officer, young police officer, had no choice but to shoot the man and killed him. The young man was maybe 25, early 30s, young man. And after the whole thing was over, I remember looking at the face of the young police officer who had actually shot and killed this young man. That is also etched in my memory. So, as I said, I'm not out to change your mind. And I'm not out to convince you because, to be quite honest, I don't think I can do that. These are just a few of the stories that I've lived through in my life involving guns. And that's why I have the view that I have. Oh, and I guess I didn't mention that by accident, I almost shot my father on a hunting trip as a young boy. It would have been an accident, but it scared the wadding out of me. So here I am. I'm not here to change your mind. I'm just here to share with you what's happened to me and why your uncle has the strong opinion that he does about guns.